The once glamorous vision of the American dream is falling apart, and fast. In 2025, the luxury real estate market, long considered immune to downturns, is crashing harder than almost anyone predicted. Cities that used to showcase jaw-dropping listings, where million-dollar bidding wars broke out overnight, are now flooded with massive price cuts, motivated sellers, and sprawling mansions sitting empty, gathering dust. We're not talking about condos or starter homes here. This is about the ultra-luxury market. Think infinity pools, designer kitchens wrapped in marble, skyline rooftop terraces, and garages that fit 6 cars with room to spare. These homes, once the ultimate markers of wealth and success, are now languishing on the market, unsold, discounted by hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars. And this isn't just a typical cooling-off period. It's a full-scale collapse at the top of the housing pyramid. Tonight on Discover the Nation, we're counting down the 10 cities where luxury home values are plunging the fastest. Make sure to stick around until the very end, because the number one city on this list is shedding wealth at a pace we haven't seen since the 2008 housing crisis. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do it now. Because what's happening in the luxury market? It's just the opening chapter in the unraveling of America's housing story, and we'll be here revealing every twist, one by one. Number 10. Dallas, Texas. Once the undisputed crown jewel of the Texas real estate scene, Dallas was known for its ultra-luxury neighborhoods like Highland Park, Preston Hollow, and Turtle Creek, where multimillion-dollar homes often sold before they ever officially hit the market. Back then, a $2 to $5 million listing wasn't just normal, it was expected. But in 2025, that glimmer of prestige has started to fade. Just 3 years ago, at the height of the market in 2022, luxury homes in Dallas, defined here as the top 10% of listings, boasted a median price over $1.3 million. Today, that median has slid down to about $1.05 million, marking a steep 20% drop in value. And it's not just mid-level luxury. Homes listed north of $3 million are now seeing price cuts of $500,000 to a full $1 million, becoming shockingly routine. So what's driving the drop? 2 key forces: oversupply and surging costs. During the pandemic, Dallas experienced a building frenzy. Developers rushed in, flooding the market with McMansions and glossy high-rise condos. Now, that construction boom has backfired, leaving the city with nearly 10 months of inventory for homes priced above $1 million, twice the amount experts consider healthy. Properties that once vanished in bidding wars are now sitting stale on Zillow for 120, even 180 days. Then come the carrying costs. Dallas County's property tax rate hovers around 2.2%. Which means a $2 million home racks up $45,000 a year in taxes alone. Add in skyrocketing insurance premiums, now topping $12,000 annually, thanks to hailstorms and Texas weather risk, and you're looking at monthly costs that sting even for high-income buyers. And the rental market? Not helping. Luxury rentals might bring in $6,000 a month, but many of these properties cost $10,000 plus per month to carry. What seemed like a passive income dream has turned into a cash-burning nightmare. Investors are beginning to offload luxury properties, many at a loss. Foreclosures in the high-end market, once unthinkable, are now ticking upward. Tarrant and Dallas counties have reported a 14% rise in luxury foreclosure filings compared to last year. Dallas still looks like money, but the cracks in the foundation are showing. For luxury home buyers, the golden age of guaranteed returns is over. Dallas is fast becoming the cautionary tale of how quickly the Texas housing boom can flip into a bust. Number 9. Miami, Florida. Long known as America's sun-soaked playground for the wealthy, Miami has built its brand on sky-high penthouses overlooking Biscayne Bay, lavish waterfront estates in Coral Gables, and sleek glass towers lining Brickell Avenue. But in 2025, the city's luxury real estate scene is facing its harshest correction since the financial crash of 2008. Between 2020 and 2022, Miami became a magnet for high net worth buyers. New Yorkers fled high taxes, Californians chased sunshine and lower costs, and foreign investors, from Brazil to Russia, poured billions into South Florida real estate. Prices soared. A luxury condo on Brick Hill that went for $1.5 million in 2019 was flipping for $2.4 million by 2022. Waterfront mansions in Miami Beach, many doubled in value in just 5 years. But that explosive growth has hit a wall. As of 2025, average prices for Miami's high-end condos have fallen by nearly 22% from their peak. That $2 million unit that once triggered bidding wars, it's now sitting stagnant at $1.55 million, with no offers in sight. Luxury waterfront homes priced at $5 million are now seeing $1 million slashed from their asking prices, and still sitting unsold for months. So what changed? The two usual suspects: oversupply and surging costs. From 2018 to 2024, developers unleashed over 20,000 new luxury condo units into the Miami market. And now, the buyers simply aren't there. At the same time, Florida's insurance crisis has made owning high-end property near the coast a financial nightmare. Insurance premiums that once cost $15,000 per year for a waterfront mansion are now soaring past $40,000 annually. And that's not all. HOA fees in luxury buildings have ballooned. A monthly fee of $1,500 is now standard, and in some elite towers, owners are paying upwards of $2,500 per month just in building dues. Investors who thought Airbnb revenue would cover the bills are quietly backing out. Occupancy rates in Miami have dipped below 55%, and nightly rental rates are down more than 20% year over year. Meanwhile, international buyers, who once dominated the luxury segment, are pulling back, wary of rising U.S. interest rates and growing economic instability worldwide. The result? Empty high-rises, stagnant listings, sellers in quiet panic mode. The glamorous image of Miami, sun, skyline, and sweeping ocean views, is beginning to buckle under the sheer weight of its own boom. For many, the luxury lifestyle in the Magic City is no longer looking like a dream. It's starting to feel like a liability. Number 8. Scottsdale, Arizona. Scottsdale carved out its identity as Arizona's go-to destination for upscale desert living. Picture this: gated golf course enclaves, massive estates tucked into the mountains, and multi-million-dollar condos with camelback mountain views. Luxury in the desert, plain and simple. But in 2025, that polished image is starting to crumble, faster than anyone expected. Scottsdale's high-end housing market is collapsing like a sandcastle hit by a monsoon wind. Back in 2022, the median sale price for luxury homes in the area peaked around $1.2 million. Fast forward to mid-2025, and that number has slid down to $975,000, a drop of nearly 19%. And for the ultra-luxury tier, those $3 million and up homes, price cuts of $500,000 are now routine, with many listings sitting idle for months. So what went wrong? A flood of new construction combined with a shrinking pool of qualified buyers. Between 2018 and 2022, developers went all in on golf community builds, and now the market is oversaturated. Homes over $1 million are looking at over 9 months of inventory, a level that signals serious trouble. Once hot properties that used to sell in under 3 weeks now linger for 100 days or more. And then come the carrying costs. Yes, property taxes in Arizona are lower than in states like California, but insurance premiums are climbing fast. Wildfires and flooding risks in the desert have pushed annual insurance from $3,000 to over $7,500. Tack on mortgage rates above 7%, and the pain gets worse. A $1.5 million mortgage that cost around $6,200 per month in 2021 now demands over $9,200 a month just to keep the lights on. The rental market isn't providing relief either. Luxury vacation rentals are oversupplied, and average occupancy has dropped below 50%, while nightly rates have fallen about 15%. Many investors who built their strategy around Airbnb golf getaways are now exiting fast, even if it means taking a loss. Foreclosures are beginning to surface, particularly in North Scottsdale, where buyers who stretch to afford $2 million homes are now deeply underwater. Scottsdale once sold itself as a serene luxury escape in the desert. But the mirage is fading, and what's left is an unsustainable market with rising risks and falling returns. Number 7. Los Angeles, California. For generations, Los Angeles has reigned as the capital of luxury real estate in America. From the gated palaces of Beverly Hills to the beachfront mansions of Malibu, LA has always been the place where multi-million-dollar dreams were made real. But in 2025, those dreams are unraveling, and fast. What was once the glitziest market in the country is now showing signs of deep distress. In LA County, median prices for luxury homes hit their peak at $3.2 million in 2021. By mid-2025, that number has slid to $2.55 million, a sharp 21% drop in just a few years. At the ultra-high end, it's even worse. Estates priced above $10 million are now seeing price reductions between $2 and $4 million, just to get buyers through the door. So what's driving the downturn? It's a perfect storm: speculative overbuilding, crippling property taxes, and California's infamous cost of living, which is pushing demand off a cliff. With mortgage rates now over 7%, financing a $15 to $20 million property often means monthly payments that rival seven-figure salaries. Then there's insurance. In wildfire-prone areas like Malibu, annual premiums have soared past $100,000 a year, and that's just to keep the home covered. Gated hillside communities are no escape either. HOA fees have doubled, sometimes reaching the cost of a second mortgage. To make matters worse, LA's once thriving entertainment industry is in a slump. Studio layoffs and production slowdowns have thinned the pool of deep-pocketed local buyers. And foreign investors, who once scooped up LA luxury as fast as it hit the market, are pulling back, wary of economic uncertainty and shifting global priorities. Don't count on the rental market to fill the gap. Luxury rental prices have flatlined, and new restrictions on short-term rentals have cut off Airbnb investors at the knees. The result? Foreclosures are rising, even in places like Beverly Hills and Calabasas. Banks are now repossessing homes that once symbolized untouchable wealth. Streets that were once filled with Ferraris and Rolls-Royces are now dotted with price-reduced signs, waving like red flags in front of empty driveways. The myth of unlimited demand and unshakable value in LA's luxury market is falling apart. And the truth is becoming clear: not even Hollywood can rewrite the ending of this housing collapse. Number 6. San Francisco, California. Once the undisputed capital of tech wealth, San Francisco stood tall as a beacon of high-end living on the West Coast. In neighborhoods like Pacific Heights, sprawling mansions were snapped up by venture capitalists, and downtown luxury condos became the ultimate symbol of startup success. But here in 2025, that gilded image is cracking apart. The city's luxury real estate market is in the middle of an all-out implosion. Back in 2020, the median price for a luxury home in San Francisco topped $3.5 million. Today, that same benchmark has dropped to around $2.75 million, a 22% plunge. And if you're talking downtown condos, the damage is even worse. Values are down nearly 30%, erasing years of appreciation almost overnight. So what happened? Honestly, everything. The tech industry, once the city's lifeblood, is going through massive layoffs, wiping out thousands of high-paying jobs. Remote work has hollowed out demand for urban living, leaving shiny high-rises eerily quiet. Meanwhile, persistent issues with crime, homelessness, and city policy dysfunction have turned buyers away in droves. Then there's the cost of simply owning here. On a $3 million home, property taxes alone exceed $35,000 per year. And earthquake insurance? That'll now cost you more than $15,000 annually. At the same time, inventory is swelling. Condos that once sold in a matter of days are now lingering for 200 days or more with zero offers. Desperate developers, who once banked on an endless stream of tech money, are pulling out all the stops. Free HOA for a year, complimentary Tesla giveaways, luxury upgrades bundled in just to spark interest. But the reality is hard to ignore. Buyer demand has dried up. Even investors are getting cold feet. Luxury rental rates have fallen by nearly 18%, and demand in the high-end segment has collapsed. And now, foreclosures are creeping into San Francisco's wealthiest zip codes. Families who bought in during the pandemic boom, stretching themselves thin to afford $4 million homes, are now watching their equity vanish. San Francisco was once considered a fortress of luxury, a place immune to the swings of the broader market. But today, it's become a cautionary tale of what happens when a market built on one industry, tech, starts to fall apart. Number 5. Aspen, Colorado. For decades, Aspen stood as the gold standard of American luxury, a mountain town where ski chalets went for $10 to $20 million, and billionaire estates were tucked away like hidden fortresses in the trees. Condos here regularly sold for more than entire mansions in other cities. It wasn't just exclusive, it was untouchable. But in 2025, even Aspen isn't immune. The high-end market is sliding downhill, and fast. Luxury home values have fallen by nearly 18% from their 2022 highs. One $12 million chalet, once snapped up by a hedge fund executive, is now sitting at $9.5 million and still waiting for a buyer. Vacation condos that once commanded $4 million are now hovering around $3.2 million. So what's causing the freeze in Aspen's red-hot market? Demand has evaporated. Rising interest rates have priced out even many wealthy buyers. The once reliable crowd of billionaires who kept Aspen's market afloat has started looking elsewhere, shifting their attention to international retreats and markets with more upside. Meanwhile, ownership costs have exploded. Annual property taxes, insurance premiums, especially for wildfire-prone areas, and HOA dues in Aspen's exclusive ski communities now add hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to the cost of holding a home. Investors are pulling out too. New short-term rental restrictions have gutted the Airbnb business model. Revenue that once helped justify $10 million purchases has dropped more than 25%, killing the returns that made these homes appealing in the first place. As a result, listings are stagnating. Homes are now sitting on the market for 200 days or longer. And while rare, foreclosures are starting to appear, even in Aspen. Some over-leveraged buyers who believed Aspen was recession-proof are now walking away, unable to keep up with crushing monthly costs. The myth of Aspen as an invincible luxury safe haven has been broken. This mountain town's real estate correction is a clear reminder. Even the most exclusive markets in America can collapse when the numbers stop making sense. Number 4. The Hamptons, New York. Once the crown jewel of summer for New York's elite, the Hamptons symbolized wealth, exclusivity, and effortless prestige. From lavish beachfront estates to sprawling countryside retreats, this was where Manhattan's richest went to escape. But in 2025, that golden escape is unraveling fast. The luxury market in the Hamptons has taken a sharp turn. Back in 2021, median luxury home prices here peaked at $3.2 million. Today, they've dropped to $2.6 million, marking an 18% decline. And for ultra-luxury beachfront properties, homes once listed at $20 million are now slashing $3 to $5 million off their asking prices, just to get noticed. So what's causing the collapse? Two big culprits: oversupply and staggering costs. During the pandemic, wealthy New Yorkers raced out of the city, and developers rushed to meet demand, flooding the Hamptons with dozens of new luxury builds. Now that demand has cooled, inventory has swelled to nearly 12 months of supply. Homes that used to sell in days or weeks are now lingering 180 days or longer on the market. And then come the carrying costs. Brutal doesn't begin to describe them. An $8 million estate in the Hamptons can rack up over $120,000 a year in property taxes alone. Insurance premiums, thanks to rising hurricane and flood risk, now often exceed $50,000 annually. Add in the cost of staffing a luxury estate, from full-time groundskeepers and security to maintenance and housekeeping. An annual upkeep can hit between $300,000 and $500,000. And if you're thinking rental income can help offset those costs, think again. The short-term rental market is oversaturated, with weekly rental rates in the Hamptons down nearly 25%. Many investors who thought they could bank on wealthy renters from Wall Street are now bleeding cash, forced to deeply discount or sit vacant. Even more shocking, foreclosures are starting to surface. Yes, even in the Hamptons, multi-million-dollar properties are being repossessed by banks as over-leveraged owners default. The dream of the Hamptons, effortless luxury, endless demand, and guaranteed prestige, is beginning to fade. In its place, one of the ugliest luxury housing crashes on the East Coast. Number 3. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas has always done luxury with flair. Penthouse suites on the Strip, ultra-modern desert mansions with infinity pools, and show-stopping estates carved into the hillsides, all designed to impress. But in 2025, that glittering facade is starting to crack. The Vegas luxury bubble has officially burst. Just a few years ago, in 2022, the median price for high-end homes in Vegas hit $1.1 million. Today, that figure has fallen to $880,000, a sharp 20% decline. And homes priced over $2 million? Many are seeing price reductions of $400,000 to $600,000, and even then, they're sitting on the market for months with no takers. What happened? 2 words: oversupply and rising costs. During the pandemic boom, developers went all in on the luxury market, convinced the demand would never slow down. Now, Vegas is sitting on almost 11 months of inventory in the luxury bracket, well above healthy levels. Add in mortgage rates pushing past 7%, and even wealthy buyers are feeling the squeeze. That $6,000 monthly payment from 2021? It's now closer to $9,000, thanks to higher rates and ballooning insurance. Speaking of which, property taxes on a $2 million home are now over $20,000 a year, and insurance for flood and wildfire risk adds another $7,000 or more. It's a financial hit that even seasoned investors are struggling to justify. The short-term rental market isn't offering a safety net either. Airbnb bookings are down 20%, and the oversaturation of vacation rentals has left many luxury units sitting empty and underperforming. Owners who bet on a constant stream of tourists are now offloading properties at losses. And it's not just whispers. Foreclosures are creeping into upscale neighborhoods like Summerlin and Henderson. Vegas, long known for selling the dream, glamour, wealth, and endless demand, is facing a new reality. Behind the neon lights, there's a growing sense of panic. For the first time in decades, Las Vegas isn't selling fantasy, it's selling at a loss. Number 2. San Diego, California. For years, San Diego quietly rivaled Los Angeles as a hub for understated luxury. Think oceanfront mansions in La Jolla, cliffside estates in Del Mar, and sleek high-rise condos overlooking the harbor, all offering wealth without the Hollywood spotlight. But in 2025, San Diego's luxury market is crumbling, and the fall has been swift. Back in 2021, median luxury home prices in San Diego peaked at $2.4 million. Fast forward to today, and that number has fallen to $1.95 million, a sharp 19% drop. At the top end of the market, the picture is even bleaker. Homes priced over $8 million are now facing price cuts between $1.50 and $2 million, with some sellers resorting to incentives like concessions, remodel credits, and even luxury cars just to draw interest. So what's driving the downturn? Two major forces: skyrocketing costs and relentless oversupply. Take a $5 million estate in La Jolla, for example. Just the annual property tax bill exceeds $55,000. Insurance premiums, inflated by wildfire and flood risk, now top $25,000 per year. And mortgage rates? Brutal. With rates hovering above 7%, a monthly mortgage payment that was around $12,000 in 2021 has now ballooned to over $18,000 in 2025. It's no wonder that inventory is exploding. Luxury listings that once sold within days are now lingering for 150 days or more, with many just sitting, unwanted and unsold. Buyers are pulling back. Sellers are getting desperate. And even deep price cuts aren't doing the trick. Investors who once counted on short-term rental income to cover carrying costs are finding no relief. Occupancy rates for high-end vacation rentals have dropped below 50%, and average rental income is now falling 25% short of covering expenses. Meanwhile, foreclosures are quietly creeping into San Diego's most exclusive enclaves. Families who stretched to buy $3 to $5 million homes during the boom are now trapped, watching their equity evaporate. What was once a dream of sun, surf, and financial safety is quickly turning into a cautionary tale. San Diego's luxury market is buckling under the weight of unaffordable ownership, too much inventory, and a vanishing pool of qualified buyers. Number 1. New York City, New York. For decades, New York City has reigned as the crown jewel of American luxury real estate. From Central Park penthouses to historic townhouses on the Upper East Side, to ultra-modern glass towers downtown, this was the market where wealth met status and where prices seemingly had no ceiling. But in 2025, that legacy is shattering. NYC is now facing one of the most dramatic luxury housing collapses in modern history. Back in 2020, the median price for a luxury home in the city peaked at a staggering $4.5 million. Today, that number has dropped to $3.55 million, a 21% plunge. And the ultra-luxury tier? It's in freefall. Penthouses that once carried $50 million price tags are now being slashed by $10 to $15 million. And still, no buyers are stepping up. The reasons? Devastating across the board. Years of overbuilding high-end towers for billionaires have flooded the market with more glass than demand can absorb. Pair that with brutal taxes and sky-high ownership costs, and you've got a recipe for collapse. Let's break it down. A $10 million condo now comes with over $200,000 a year in property taxes. HOA fees often exceed $5,000 per month. Insurance premiums are spiraling upward. Mortgage payments on $20 million properties have become astronomical. And just as costs have surged, demand has vanished. Wall Street bonuses are shrinking. Foreign buyers, once a cornerstone of the market, are backing out. Remote work has eroded Manhattan's appeal. As a result, inventory is choking the market, with nearly 14 months of supply in the ultra-luxury category. Towers once sold out in weeks are now half-empty monuments to overconfidence. Rental demand isn't rescuing investors either. Luxury rents are softening, vacancy rates are climbing, and entire buildings are turning into glass ghost towns. Quietly, but unmistakably, foreclosures are beginning to surface in Manhattan, something once thought impossible. Properties that once symbolized global wealth are now being unloaded at steep losses. The iconic NYC skyline, once a glowing symbol of unstoppable demand, is now marked by silence and unsold square footage. This isn't just another correction, it's a generational collapse of high-end wealth. From Dallas to San Diego, Aspen to the Hamptons, and now New York, the luxury housing dream is tearing at the seams. Price cuts, foreclosures, disappearing demand. The myth that luxury real estate was immune to collapse. It's gone. And this time, the crash isn't limited to middle America. It's hitting the top 1% head-on. So the only question left is, If New York can fall, who's next?